más sabrosa. Es muy fácil de preparar. Solo agrega agua al tiempo y obtendrás tortillas con todo el sabor al maíz de tu tierra.
Doesn't matter at all to me. I've been through this enough times where these things happen all the time. So I guess people who haven't been a part of it or seen it up close, it can be a new experience. But this is standard procedure for some of these teams in these games.
How much do you like not playing at Costa Rica in a new stadium?
I'll tell you after Friday night. Well, you know, it's in theory it's an advantage to not have to play there, but that doesn't guarantee anything. So I think we like our chances playing against this team on the grass field versus turf in a stadium that's relatively safe versus one that feels relatively unsafe. But it's only an advantage if we make it an advantage, and so it doesn't mean that anything changes on the field. We still have to do the things that we need to do to win. We're playing a good team, so it's still going to be difficult.
What kind of game do you expect from them tomorrow? Obviously, last time in the Gold Cup they were defensive, but now they're at home.
Yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. My guess would be that they don't want to open the game up too much because we've got a number of players who are very good attacking when the ball turns over and in counter situations. But I think it's a game they feel like not only they need to win because they're at home, but clearly with everything that's been said, it's a game that they're pinning a lot on. So my guess is that at some point they have to be aggressive and come try to win the game, which could potentially play into our favor.
What do you remember about that game in '09 and just how tough it was? In Saprissa, rain, the crowd was crazy, they jumped
Was
on
that
you
the
guys.
3-0 game?
Right.
I wasn't
3-1.
3-1. I wasn't at that game. I remember watching.
You scored a PK. Yeah.
Oh, that game. What was the one before that? 3-0?
Yeah, you had already clinched, I think.
That's
US
right.
fans.
That's right. Well, what I remember about that game was I never felt like we were in the game, which is crazy for our national team to say, but they were all over us from the beginning, and they never let down. And so it was frustrating. And at that point in qualifying, we were in a difficult spot. I think we went home and played Honduras. So it put us in a hole, and it was a tough night. It was sort of, if you were going to draw up a picture of what a away qualifier in Costa Rica was going to look like, that was sort of it, and we got punished that day.
I've heard stories of batteries being thrown, bags of various fluids being thrown. Was that still going on in 2009?
I'm sure it'll still be going on Friday night.
How you doing? What do you need to do collectively in order to get a positive result tomorrow night?
I think continue doing what we're doing. It's not a fluke that our team has won 12 games in a row. You could say a few games along the way maybe we didn't deserve a win here or there, but to win 12 in a row is impressive, and so we don't want to change a whole lot. We have a lot of guys that are playing very well, playing at a very high level, that are very confident, and we just want to keep going. In my opinion, we have what it takes to beat this team on Friday, and there's no reason why we can't go in there with the attitude that we can win this game.
You've been to a ton of road qualifiers with the team. What is the mood different on this trip because of that winning streak? You feel, is it like a lighter atmosphere, like just more confidence? Feel different?
A little bit. I haven't been a part of the team for a long time, so I don't know what it was previous. But I think there's a sense, one, because of where we are in the standings, and two, because of the form we've been on, that it's not cocky, but it's very confident that we're going to do well on Friday, and that it's going to look different than any other qualifier has ever looked here for the U.S. So I think we go into it with that attitude. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out, but we're going to go in with the mentality and the attitude that we want to win this game.
What you were just talking about, sometimes people talk about the difficulty of integrating with a group that they haven't been around in the earlier stages of the qualifying tournament, which can kind of bring a group together. At the same time, you've been through so many of these and you know so many of these guys. To what extent is that a challenge for you?
It's not for me. I know these guys well. There's only a couple guys I've had the team before, John and Aaron. But everyone else I know well. I've been a part of this team, so it's easy to integrate off the field. On the field, it's even easier because they're all good players and we all sort of see the game the same way. I've played with a lot of them many times, so fortunately for me, that'll be an easy process.
At the Gold Cup, you played a little bit of right wing, and you've also played up top. Has Jurgen talked to you about where he sees you now that you're back with the top team?
No, not yet, but recently I've been playing a lot as a forward, and I think that's been going well, and I feel comfortable there. I am happy to play wherever, as I always have been. I want to contribute if I can. If I'm not needed, then that's fine too. I just want to be a part of this team. If hopefully we're celebrating tomorrow or Tuesday night, I want to be a part of it.
Does this team sense that the World Cup is you're on the brink?
I think so. I certainly understand the magnitude of it, and the hardest thing to do is finish it off. And so these are arguably the two hardest games we'll play, aside from away at Azteca. But you don't want to go to Game 9, even if it's against a team that may be eliminated, worrying about trying to qualify. You want to get it done as soon as possible. So if we can do it Friday and results go our way, we have to do it. We have to really smell the blood and just go for it and wrap it up if we can.
You mentioned it's a different looking qualifier, road qualifier. Jurgen just now pretty much made it seem like it's not going to be a sit-back approach, defensive approach. You guys are going to play your game. You're going to attack even though you're on the road. You get that sense that he just wants to keep going at people.
Why not? I mean, I watched the game in Bosnia and certainly didn't sit back and just wait. There's no reason why we shouldn't attack and go for it. And when we played them, it's a different scenario, different situation. We played them in the Gold Cup. We just went for 90 minutes, and we finally broke them down. And my guess is they're not going to play that way at home in front of their crowd. If they do, they probably get booed off the pitch. So if that's the type of game they want to play, I think we're comfortable playing that, opening the game up and going for it.
Do you find yourself feeding off the crowd when you're in away games like this?
Yeah, I love it. I love it. I don't know how everyone feels, but for me, it's great. You'd much rather play in front of a lot of people that care than a few people that don't really care. And so I love it. Last time I was part of this, we qualified in Honduras on the road, and that was an awesome feeling, and that'd be nice to replicate.
What are the things you've been hit with?
The things I've been hit with?
Yeah, we're talking about projectiles.
I'm not quite sure what they were, but I have a pretty good idea. Certainly alcohol. Yeah, certainly bodily fluids. Coins, batteries, sunglasses.
Did you watch the game in Denver?
I did.
Where were you?
On my couch, nervously.
Do you take it as a special game for you, since you haven't been in a qualifying situation in a while, or just another game for you?
I'm excited. I don't see it that much differently, but I'm just excited to be back here and be a part of it. And but I'm not, I'm not a 19-year-old where I'm just, happy to be here and I want to really help, and that doesn't have to mean on the field, but I want to contribute, and I want to help the team get to where it wants to go. You want to help all the young guys who have never played in a World Cup. You want them to have that feeling where they're on the field celebrating together because they just qualified for a World Cup. Hopefully, if things go right down the road, you want to get to Brazil a month or so before the World Cup and experience that with those guys, and I want to be a part of that.
Is this the deepest U.S. team you've been part of?
Yeah, unquestioned. When you see a bunch of guys that don't get called in that absolutely deserve to be here too, it tells you that the team's very deep. And there's a lot of guys that can make a case that they should be there that aren't, and so it's tough, and it's gonna be that way all the way through Brazil next year, assuming we qualify. And I think that's a good thing. That's how the best national teams in the world operate, and that's how we want to be if we're going to get to where we want to go.
Sure. You feel you're on top of your game at the moment. I mean, where do you start at this been asked, but do you know, over the course of your career, how you said before you felt like a 20-year-old again, you still feel that you're playing as well as you had?
I guess if I had to evaluate, I'd say this is the best I've ever played, because the energy I had when I was 20 is pretty close to being matched now, but I have the experience of all the years, so everything is really slowed down for me now. I see everything very clearly on the field. Everything sort of makes sense, and not every play is perfect, but I feel like every time I get the ball, I have a real chance to impact the game, and it's a great feeling. I'm just going to keep enjoying it.
Talk about the partnership between Jermaine and Michael in the middle, and what they give you guys as a team, just two pit bulls like them in the middle.
But they give you stability, and for the back four, defensively, it's great to know that you have that in front of you, but also offensively, they know that they can get them the ball and let them make the game, and there's not as much pressure on the back four to try to make the game. So I think they've done fantastic through this whole experience. I think when Jeff Cameron's come in and been in there, he's done great. They're two solid guys that you know when you put them on the field that you don't have to worry about those two guys in their matchup, and that's a big plus for any team.
Is there any advice you can give to the young guys that maybe haven't been to Costa Rica or these type of atmospheres? Anything you can tell them about how to handle such a boisterous and kind of defensive crowd?
Fortunately, we're at a place now where most players, even young players, have played in big games. Guys like Edgar, John Anthony, Aaron, they've all played in big games in their leagues, so they understand it. This is a little bit different, and there's some things we'll talk about, but for the most part, they sort of get it. In the past, sometimes you have college kids coming into these games, sometimes you have kids who had played in MLS at the time when the crowds weren't like they were now, or like they are now, so you really had to help people understand what it was about, but now I think we're in a different time, which is a good sign.
Any sense of relief that you won't be at Saprissa? Or, you talked about wanting to play in the Cauldron, but...
It's not relief, but we think it can be an advantage. There's a reason why they've played at Saprissa all these years, right? So they know that they have a big advantage there over any team for a lot of reasons, and psychologically, I think that helps us and probably hurts them. But that only matters if you play on Friday night and you show up and make it an advantage. And if not, then if we're not prepared and we don't play that way, it can look the same like it does at Saprissa. So we have to do that.
Thanks, guys.
All right, guys.